Drat. I forgot to ask Yun Li to return my sword.
Well, I mean, you did ask her a bunch of times.
No need to bother. The Zhuming envoys won't be leaving the Luofu anytime soon. I'll ask for it later when we meet again. By the way, I don't know if it's just me, but the general seemed a little reserved. Could it be because of Elder Huayan's visit?
Oh, politics, you know?
Reserved? Really?
Maybe I'm just overthinking things.
No, you're not. When I entered the Palace of Astrum, I realized that the messenger from the Xianzhou Zhuming was actually the Arbiter General himself. So, the messenger from the Xianzhou Yaoqing must be the Merlin's Claw herself, I presume.
That's right.
Well, that's what makes this entire thing so unusual.
What's so unusual about it? They simply received an invitation from Jing Yuan, just like the crew, right?
The war dance is just a small festival. And now we have 2 Arbiter Generals from other Xianzhou ships here. I'm afraid they're here for something more. Maybe they've come to hold Jingyuan accountable for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis?
Hold him accountable? Come on, didn't the Luofu fall victim to the disciples of Sanctus Medicus and the Antimatter Legion? Why would they blame the victim?
Well, they could say that it was his failing, his oversight, that let the disciples gather and grow and, you know, form into a big old cult that had the power to do something like that.
Dan Shu's rebellion and Ventilia's scheming are merely one side of the story to the other Arbiter Generals of the Alliance. Only a single piece of incontrovertible evidence remains, creating an endless source of potential complications.
The Ambrosial Arbor.
Yes. It's undeniable that the plague mark, which was subdued by the Xianzhou Luofu, has resurfaced. But was it really a conspiracy instigated by the Antimatter Legion? Or does it indicate a traitorous intent from within the Luofu, implicating Jingyuan himself?
That's also true. It's easy to point fingers at the Antimatter Legion because they're shit-stirring everywhere. But, could be a cover-up. We know it isn't, but they don't.
Once the spark of suspicion is kindled, it proves hard to extinguish.
What was I thinking? Seriously, here I was looking forward to a carefree and enjoyable trip. But it seems wherever we go, drama is just around the corner.
Aw, I was so excited. I thought those Arbiter Generals were just here to see the ceremony.
I'm sorry for ruining your day, Yanqing.
By the way, I heard that an alchemist from the Zhuming diplomatic ship has arrived, and rumors say that she's to be the new Cauldron Master of the Alchemy Commission on the Luofu.
An alchemist from the Zhuming serving as the Cauldron Master on the Luofu? While it's not unheard of, the timing itself...
Thanks to your words, Mr. Dan Heng. Now I finally see the underlying tensions. The General is under tremendous pressure right now, but I was completely oblivious to his troubles. How naive of me.
Come on, don't think like that. Leave the adult matters to the adults. Even if you wanted to do something for the General, it's not like you can do anything.
Ouch. Harsh phrasing.
Did I say something wrong? Again?
You were a little too blunt. Real master of conversation here, March. You're making him sad.
Miss March is right. I don't have the skills to share the General's burdens at the moment. Still, I'll do my best to follow his instructions. Let's go. Once I've taken you to your accommodations. I need to go to the Artisanship Commission to handle the IPC's protest.
He looks like he has a lot on his mind. We can't just let him go alone. Why don't we accompany you to the Artisanship Commission?
We've got a lot of experience dealing with the IPC at this point. We can help.
This is too much trouble. While I appreciate your kindness, dealing with the IPC's workers could be tricky. I'm afraid this will cause trouble for the Express.
No worries. We're pretty experienced in dealing with the IPC. You've heard of the 10 Stone Hearts? We've dealt with quite a few of them, right?
Yeah, more than most people. Stop, I don't want to get sued by the IPC.
Yeah, exactly. Are you being sarcastic?
Well, since you're willing to help, I won't decline your kindness. Let's head to the Artisanship Commission and meet them.
Can I really reason with you Xianzhou people? I think I get it now. In your words, this is called looting a burning house, right?
Wow.
But I am trying to reason with you here.
Guys, please calm down, it's alright. Aventurine is here.
That toxic voice sounds familiar. Haven't I heard it before in Aurum Alley?
Oh my god, it's Scott. Oh my god. Did you not learn your lesson the last time you were here, Scott? When we made you bark? Okay. Have you not been punished enough?
You know what? This isn't my first time dealing with the Skyfaring Commission. I can handle your unreasonable ways.
What about me though, Scott? Can you handle me? I know Sushang isn't here right now, but...
But straight up snatching IPC cargo? Isn't that going a bit too far?
Just as I've said it many times already. Once we've inspected the cargo and completed the security check, you can be on your way. Is there something wrong with your ears, or is it just your brain?
I'm hearing you loud and clear. I'm thinking clear. And my answer is crystal clear. Not a chance. Keep detaining my cargo and I'll file a complaint directly with your general.
Oh, Scott! Did I just hear a dog barking?
You jerk! Who are you calling a dog? Wait, why are you here?
Oh, you do remember me. Good. Good.
You're staying on the Xianzhou, are you? What terrible luck! Wherever you go, disasters aren't far behind.
Aren't you the guest from the Astral Express? What brings you and Yanqing to the Artisanship Commission?
Trouble caused by the IPC? I'd say it's caused by the Skyfaring Commission.
Well, Scott, considering you specifically are here, I'm pretty sure you're at least 70% of the problem.
Looks like you've met this IPC worker before. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. I was sent here to deal with the IPC protest, Miss Shikui. What's going on here?
As you know, this IPC transport ship was attacked by the Borisin and rescued by the Juming's diplomatic ship. Then the Cloud Knights were instructed to bring it back to the dock for repairs and inspections. And this is Mr. Scott, the person in charge of this transport ship.
So, you're Scott. I've heard her mention you. Weren't you kicked off the Luofu before? Why did you come back?
Well, to be fair, I guess he's not here on purpose.
Like I wanted to come back. I thought I'd just dock at the harbor for repairs and leave this forsaken place for good. Little did I know, as soon as the ship entered the harbor, a bunch of Cloud Knights showed up and snatched all our cargo from the hold.
What do you mean by snatched? I've told you 1,000,000 times. It's a security check.
This is a normal operating procedure, okay? They're not singling you out. They're not trying to steal your state secrets.
Then why did you bring the cargo to the Artisanship Commission? You even brought in some shady craftsmen. It's obvious you're trying to steal the IPC's patented technology!
Listen here. Firstly, the Skyfaring Commission detected dangerous items that could possibly be weapons in your cargo hold. That's why they called me here, to double-check. Secondly, where the heck did you get the idea that I'm a shady craftsman?
Even if there are dangerous items, what do they have to do with you? It's not even being shipped to the Luofu. We'll just fix the ship and be on our way. We won't unload our cargo here.
But you'll have to stay in the port for several days before your ship is repaired and you can take off again. How can we just leave unchecked items sitting here?
I understand, but we don't need to disassemble the cargo if it's just a security check, right?
In most cases, we don't. However, our scans discovered that the cargo doesn't only contain machinery, but also some substance that resembles biological tissue.
So we have to make sure you're not doing any weird human trafficking or, like, you know, there's no organs hiding away in there. You know, that could be dangerous.
Biological tissue? Does this crate contain living things?
I'm afraid we'll need to wait for the Alchemy Commission for further confirmation. In any case, according to our regulations, we need to unseal one of the crates for further examination. But this IPC specialist has been hindering us on the grounds of patent secrecy.
The Alliance's regulations on biological products are very strict. Without further inspection, there is no way for the Skyfaring Commission to release the cargo.
Oh, really? Fine! If anyone lays a finger on that shipment, they'll have me to deal with. It doesn't matter if it's mechanical or biological. It's none of your business. I'm filing a complaint against the Skyfaring Commission's ridiculous regulations.
This Mr. Scott seems stubborn and difficult to persuade. Honestly, I really don't want to have a vicious confrontation with the IPC.
Well, Scott's just a vicious person. Well, I know a thing or two about dealing with Scott. Don't worry about it.
I heard how you helped Aramali. The IPC representative back then was Mr. Scott, right? Since you've dealt with him before, it looks like I'll have to rely on you again.
What are you guys whispering about over there? Just hurry up and give us back our cargo.
As I recall, this guy won't listen to reason and can only be persuaded with intimidation. But he does seem to follow rules to some extent. Let's use that against him.
Speaking of regulations, we have our own laws and regulations too. According to Article 4 of the Xianzhou Alliance IPC Trade Consensus, the Alliance and IPC shall never infringe on each other's intellectual property rights.
We're not trying to do that. Remind him of his embarrassing past. Well, let's not go straight for that, shall we? Let's not go straight in there.
The Alliance can sign a non-disclosure agreement with you. That way, you won't have to worry about any infringements, right?
We can sign a mutually acceptable non-disclosure agreement in accordance with the IPC's rules.
Well, that makes sense, but how can we trust you to honor the terms?
Well, if you can't trust us to honor an NDA, then how can we trust you? Okay, Scott, that goes both ways.
Even if we set aside the secrecy of intellectual property, these prototypes built by the Intelligentsia Guild are incredibly valuable, beyond your wildest imagination. If anything goes wrong, you won't be able to pay for it even with your lives.
It just beat him up. Oh boy.
Don't underestimate Xianzhou technology. Even if they need to dismantle your cargo, the Artisanship Commission can easily put it back together.
Yeah, go ahead and brag about their skills. After all, you're just a negotiator they hired.
Damn, Scott, get off your high horse, man.
But I'm different. I'm an IPC member. and my fleet has accepted this transportation order. Naturally, I need to be responsible for the integrity of every piece of cargo. Besides, the cargo on this transport vessel belongs to the Intelligentsia Guild. If you want to inspect the cargo, shouldn't you at least call in a member of the Intelligentsia Guild to be present?
Scott, I have Dr. Ratio in my phone book. Don't even try me, okay?
Your logic is too confusing for anyone to follow. Maybe you should learn the art of communication from a monkey before you continue spouting nonsense?
Oh! Damn. That was rough, buddy. Listen, I have contacts in the Intelligentsia Guild. I can do that.
I'm pretty tight with Dr. Ratio from the Intelligentsia Guild. Almost like family. Doesn't that make me practically a member of the Intelligentsia Guild too?
Oh yeah, me and Dr. Ratio are like family.
What's all this nonsense? Even if you were married to him, you still couldn't represent the Intelligentsia Guild.
Oh, that hurt, but it was so worth it. That was so funny.
We both need to follow the regulations, because that's how the IPC and the Xianzhou operate, right? As an IPC worker, I have to abide by its regulations. If I make an exception and allow you to inspect the cargo, it'll spell disaster for me.
Damn, big.
Your logic is too confusing for anyone to follow. Maybe you should learn the art of communication from a monkey before you continue spouting nonsense? Everyone has their own set of rules. Now that you're on their turf, shouldn't you follow their rules too?
Yeah, I get it. I know I'm on the Xianzhou, but if I violate the IPC regulations, I'll be in deep trouble when I get back.
And if you violate the Xianzhou regulations, you'll be in deep trouble right now.
Well, you guys sure know how to argue your case.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I got some comedy out of it, so that's all I wanted.
Fine. I'll allow you to do the security inspection. It's just that, I need some time to sort things out. This is a big deal. Let me talk to headquarters first.
So, Mr. Scott, are you just stalling for time and planning to leave the Xianzhou as soon as your ship is repaired? To avoid the Skyfaring Commission's inspection?
Well, IPC staff are free to come and go, as long as they don't break any laws.
Yeah, you've got some insight there. Who are you again?
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lingsha, Cauldron Master and head of the Alchemy Commission on the Luofu.
Could she be?
Yeah, she's the new Cauldron Master assigned here from the Xianzhou Zhuming.
I received a report from the Artisanship Commission about cargo containing samples of unknown organisms. It said they needed help from the Alchemy Commission. I had nothing better to do, so I came myself. It's fine, Mr. Scott. If you really don't want your cargo to be inspected, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter? How can you say that?
Why are you being so nice all of a sudden? Well, since you're not going to check it, I'll take this crate and be on my way. Is that okay with everyone?
I mean, that's not what she said. She said you were allowed to leave.
Yeah, sure. Why should I object? Not only this sample, but all the goods on the transport ship are yours to keep. Like I said, we won't inspect them.
Wait a minute!
Well, that's more like it. If only the young displayed a more reasonable attitude, we could have sidestepped that altercation just now. Our ship will leave in a few days once the engines are repaired.
Your ship can leave whenever you want, but I'm afraid I can't say the same for your cargo.
Yeah, look, we don't have to open it, and it belongs to you, but you can't take it with you. You can leave, and your ship can leave. But, at least you let us look at it.
According to the import and export regulation signed between the Xianzhou and IPC, all biological shipments can only leave the port when they have confirmed to be of no threat, or when all biological activity expires. Since we can't determine if your shipment is safe for the environment, I guess we'll have to wait for its biological activity to expire. Let me check the previous cases.
Yeah, this could take decades or hundreds of years.
Normally, it'll only take around 47 star calendar years.
So, you know, as long as you're content with waiting that long, Scott, you know, you'll be dead by then, so it won't be your problem.
Only 47 years?
Why so surprised? You're still young and full of energy. I'm pretty sure you'll live a few more decades. Have some confidence in yourself.
She's like, if you try really hard, I'm sure you'll make it 47 more years to finish the job.
Ha! Typical of a long-life species. Your words are dripping with sarcasm. While you may not care about time, I do. I'll be demanding double compensation from the Skyfaring Commission for every minute wasted.
Sure thing, Mr. Scott. You seem pretty confident that your career and life will last long enough to witness this victory unfold.
Step aside, guys. Let them do the inspection.
But, Mr. Scott...
Come on, we're already in enough trouble. Just let them do the security inspection. And if needed, I can always grovel before the Intelligentsia Guild later. I'm just using my head for what it's apparently good for, right?
Yeah, all you're good for is groveling. Thanks, bro.
Well, honestly, at least you're not as annoying as that woman. Bro, just do the inspection.
Delayed reaction. He's like, yeah, well, what did you just call me?
This lady is really something else. Is this the IPC product?
Listen up. Any damages caused by inspections will be filed with the IPC.
Turn it off. Well, how unexpected. That was a surprise.
Yeah, no kidding.
Were you seriously planning to leave this stuff unchecked at the dock for days? That's way too dangerous.
Listen, we already have arumatons busting out of the containment boxes all the time. We don't need your unknown weaponry sitting around waiting to kill someone.
I had no idea about it. You must have accidentally triggered the cargo's defense program.
I don't think trying to shift the blame is a wise choice.
You not knowing what's in your own cargo is a you problem.
But seriously, I don't know why that thing suddenly started moving. I swear on the Amber Lord.
Enough. Miss Shikue, please escort our IPC guest to the Skyfaring Commission.
I'm on it. Please follow me, Mr. Scott.
Gentlemen, our preliminary inspection shows that there is indeed hidden biological tissues inside, just like the craftsman feared. I can't even tell if it's ingenium or biological in nature.
The core of this device is what they call wetware in industry slang. To put it simply, this machine operates with a kind of biological nerve as its control center.
That sounds gross.
I'll take some samples for the alchemist to analyze and figure out where the biological tissue comes from.
Why would the Intelligentsia Guild use such unethical technology? Perhaps they're trying to create a new weapon?
Whatever the reason is, it's probably why the Borisin attacked the ship. No wonder the IPC were trying to obstruct our inspection. I'll contact the Ten Lords Commission and ask the judges to come and give their final verdict on this. According to our rules, all prisoners and weapons involving dangerous creatures must be taken to the Shackling prison for further sentencing. After all, it's the safest place on the Luofu. As for you, Mr. Craftsman, please go with the Cloud Knights and explain the situation to the judge. I had a feeling that the IPC members would cause trouble, but I didn't think they'd be this tricky. Thanks for your help, Miss Linksha.
I should thank you for saving my life. Your sword skills were impressive. Taking down that big guy. I thought the General's retainers were all burly martial masters. I didn't expect Yanqing to be so...
youthful? Miniature?
Yeah, exactly. He's young and talented. As for you, you must be the guests from the Astral Express, right? Saving the Luofu from that crisis. It's so impressive.
It wasn't a big deal. Really.
It's still early, so why don't we get some tea at the Alchemy Commission? We can discuss your suggestions for revitalizing the commission.
I'd be happy to accept your invitation.
And you three are coming too, right? All these years, and the view at the Alchemy Commission hasn't changed a bit. The tides come and go, but the ancient sea remains the same. For us Vidyadhara, there's nothing more nostalgic than our homeland.
You're a Luofu native, Miss Linksha?
Yes, I grew up here, listening to the sound of waves while researching prescriptions with my mentors and peers at the Alchemy Commission. It's kind of sad, isn't it? Everything changes, but somehow remains familiar. Just like you, Dan Heng, I traveled far from home, and now I've returned. Seeing the familiar scenery brings back a hint of nostalgia.
The view here would be even better without the Ambrosial Arbor.
Oh, really? I think that towering tree looks pretty impressive.
Even if it's impressive, it's a plague mark. The Xianzhou have been fighting abominations for thousands of years. And now that the Ambrosial Arbor has been reborn, it's only natural for everyone to feel uneasy.
Well, once a seed is planted, no matter how long it takes, it'll eventually sprout and bear fruit. In my humble opinion, the rebirth of the Ambrosial Arbor and the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were inevitable. The seed was already planted when the ancestors of the Xianzhou sought immortality.
Yeah, I mean, once it's been proven one time, it's just more fuel for people to try to do it over and over again. I thought we were here to have tea. Where's the tea? I wanted drinking tea, not gossip.
My bad. Well, since you went through the entire Ambrosial Arbor crisis firsthand, Dan Heng and Lieutenant Yanqing, I'd like to discuss something with you.
What would you like to discuss, Miss Linksha?
I was lucky enough to be chosen by the Alliance to come in and clean up all the old grime in the Alchemy Commission. Honestly, the Alchemy Commission is riddled with problems and has reached a point where fixing it seems impossible. I'm looking to remedy this problem, but was wondering if you could provide any insights.
Well, even though I'm a Vidyadharan like you, I'm an outsider, just like my companions here. I can't really say much about a remedy, but I do have a piece of advice, Miss Linksha. The Vidyadhara and the Alchemy Commission on the Luofu have always been intricately connected. If you cannot distance yourself from these ties, Miss Linksha, changing the situation within the Alchemy Commission may be quite challenging.
I may not know about politics, but I do know that the disciples of Sanctus Medicus have been operating within the Alchemy Commission for years. If you're determined to root them out, maybe you should discuss it with the General.
I see. Thank you for your valuable insights.
Also, you could just ask Bailu, because, you know, anyone who Bailu thinks is, like, super suspicious, you should probably just get rid of them.
While the Lux Arrow from the Rainbow possesses unparalleled power to sever the Ambrosial Arbor, it can't sever mortals' desire to prolong their existence. Just like how the Cloud Knights can eliminate the remnants of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, but are unable to calm the hearts and minds of the people within the Alchemy Commission. Our Xianzhou forebears knew this well, and that's why they entrusted the duty of guarding the roots of the Arbor to the Vidyadhara. However, the Vidyadhara are still only mortal beings. 30 years ago, my mentor served as Alchemy Commission's Cauldron Master. She recognized the emerging undercurrents and sought to cleanse the source of the disturbance. Unfortunately, even though she was skilled in the art of healing, she didn't understand the human heart or how to eliminate the sickness lurking within the depths of the Alchemy Commission. In the end, she was framed and exiled to the Juming. I was also implicated and had to leave the Luofu. And guess who arbitrated the case and handed down the sentence? None other than General Jing Yuan himself.
What?
You heard it right. The ones responsible for the corruption in the Alchemy Commission are not just the remnants of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, but even the Divine Foresight himself. Alas, why is your face turning pale, Yanqing? Don't worry about it. I understand that when someone holds a position of power, they may sometimes have to make tough decisions. I won't hold any personal grudges against him. Besides, at our age, holding personal grudges is a luxury we can't afford.
Linksha, you're back! I've been waiting ages for you.
Yunli! Why aren't you with your grandpa? What brings you to the Alchemy Commission?
Well, it's time for another fight, boys and girls.
Well, let me take this opportunity to introduce you to Yanqing.
He saved my life! And she's like, dang it.
What a small world. You stole my sword! Give it back!
I see. Let's skip the introduction part then.
Why do I keep bumping into you? Are you stalking me or something?
Of course not. Unlike you, Miss Yunli, I have important things to take care of. You, on the other hand, seem to have all the time in the world to wander around without returning my sword.
Grandpa used to say that a sword reflects its master. I talked to your sword, and it told me that you've been distracted. You hesitate when you should strike, and you struggle to stay calm when your sword is unsheathed. Now that I see you again, I realize your sword was right. It wasn't me who took your sword. It was you who lost focus.
Gee, I'm so sorry that he's like a teenage boy who's maybe going through some stuff. God.
Do you really expect me to believe that nonsense? I've been taking it easy on you because you're a guest from the Juming, but you're not taking the hint. Don't people from the Juming know you're supposed to return what you've borrowed?
Just look at this flying sword. Even if I gave it back to you now, it'd just be taken away again in a few hours. You know the Cloud Knight saying, a Cloud Knight must never let slip their weapon, yes? Well, sure, I can give it back to you now, but on the battlefield, that's a whole different story. Poor flying sword.
Fine! You don't have to give it back, because I'll take it back myself!
Maybe I should call the General? General, child trouble.
Between these two, who do you think is tougher, Dan Heng? Don't get me wrong. I'm just curious.
Get ready to separate them.
You grab the girl, I'll get Yanqing.
It is my first day at the Alchemy Commission. A brawl is definitely not how I imagined celebrating it.
Well, since you don't approve, I won't draw my sword here.
I didn't mean it in that way. Since you've already drawn your swords, you'd be disappointed if you didn't get to test one another, right? I've received reports that the delves near the Alchemy Commission are still infested with abominations. Seems like my predecessors left quite a mess. So, if you two want to determine who's better, why not focus on them instead of each other?
Do something useful with this hatred and anger.
Clearing out some abominations? Sounds boring.
That is the job of a Cloud Knight, okay? Security. This is your job.
It's the Cloud Knight's duty to eliminate those abominations. You don't have to ask me twice, Miss Lingsha. I'll help you get rid of them.
Oh, you think you're the only one who knows how to behave? If Lingsha needs anything, I'll gladly draw my sword and help her out.
If that was true, you would have said yes before Yanqing did. Now you're only saying yes because you're being spiteful.
It's so heartwarming to see both of you being so sweet and caring. So then, shall we get going? Ever since the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were eradicated, their experimental abominations have been festering here. If you want a contest, I'll be the referee. The one who kills the most abominations within an hour wins.
Lingsha, as always, you're still an expert in making unpaid work sound so noble and grand.
It's for your own good, little Yunli. While you desire to compete against each other, I don't want to see either of you getting hurt.
That's really thoughtful of you, Cauldron Master.
So, are you both ready? Ugh. Looks like my predecessors left quite a mess. Let me say it again. The one who kills the most abominations within an hour wins. Be careful when you draw your swords, and make sure you don't hurt each other.
Can we start now, Lingsha?
How many can you block?
Damn, okay. She's just gonna be in here kill stealing, I see.
Blade and flight!
Every petal in life's all will be swept away by the wind.
I didn't expect expect someone who can't even hold onto his sword to actually have some skill?
Wow.
Time for swordplay! Strike with heart!
Fighting is meaningless.
Descend to earth!
Sure, I'll play along.
The truth of life and death. The sanctuary is but a vision. Break!
I win, Miss Yunli!
Congratulations, honey.
You got lucky.
Why don't you just give me back my sword, sincerely apologize, and then go cry your eyes out to your grandpa?
Oh, children, please.
Consider yourself lucky that I'm not interested in your rusty sword, as I don't have the nasty habit of snatching other people's weapons.
You're not being a very gracious winner, my guy.
All you did was chop down a few monsters. Don't get carried away with yourself. If you think you can just take this sword from my hand, go ahead and try.
Well fought, my young friends.
Guys, the property damage, especially Yunli and her giant smashing fucking greatsword. Thank you. Thank you, Feixiao.
However, both of you have shortcomings. One of you focuses on dodging and weaving, while the other relies on brute strength, trying to take down targets with a single strike.
Who are you?
Me? I'm just a patient seeking medicine from the Alchemy Commission. A passerby, if you will. I thought I'd see my fill of impressive fights during the war dance. Yet here I am, able to witness a remarkable fight at the Alchemy Commission, of all places. Well, the Luofu is never short of surprises. However, I have a small suggestion for you. Why don't you settle this dispute fair and square in the war dances ring? That way, you can resolve your differences with a proper duel and put your grudges behind you.
Grudges? No, not at all. Yunli and we were just sparring.
Sparring? You summoned your flying swords and she swung her sword with full strength. No grudges between you. I don't believe it.
Aha! What brings you here, Lady Feixiao? Have you finished your health consultation with the Dragon Lady?
Feixiao? Grandpa always talks about you. Could it be that you are...
The Merlin's Claw of the Xianzhou Yaoqing?
Looks like I'm quite famous on the Xianzhou Luofu, too.
Of course. Everyone has heard of the great general. Known to all, and unbeknown to none.
Great general? Isn't that title a bit too narcissistic? I don't like it. Ooh, I heard there's a dozing general on the Luofu, so I came up with a humble nickname for myself. The Lacking General. Lacking in worries, regrets, and rivals.
So still a little bit of a brag.
Sounds much better, right?
Yeah, that's a befitting title that sounds both humble and impressive. Now that the sparring session is over, Yanqing and Yunli, shouldn't you politely thank General Fei Xiao for her guidance and bury the hatchet?
Here's your sword. Keep it safe. Or it might get taken away again. By the way, we haven't settled the score yet. I'll defeat you fair and square next time we fight.
This is how she apologizes? Now that I finally got my sword back, I should report to the seat of Divine Foresight. I'll take my leave, General Fei Xiao. Oh, by the way, Miss Linxia, if you've got some free time, I'd like to invite you to the seat of Divine Foresight for a chat with General Jingyuan. I think there's more to those personal grudges you mentioned earlier.
Thanks for stepping in, General Fei Xiao. Otherwise, I'd have had to knock them out with my incense.
But where did Dan Heng go? He's not with us.
Not at all. Just doing what you asked. How about we call it even as payment for the healer lady's consultation?
Sorry, but even a general needs to pay their bills. We don't do credit here. And let's not forget, you'd have been waiting decades for a chance to see the Dragon Lady if it weren't for me.
Yeah, even Bailu doesn't give out freebies.
Well, you can always send the bill to the seat of Divine Foresight and say it's for mentoring those kids. After all, it was quite the effort splitting them up. I nearly had to get tough. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to find a spot and get some fresh air. Back already? You've met with Jingyuan and wandered around for a few hours. So, what do you think?
It appears that the Divine Foresight is using this war dance as a show of strength to convince everyone that the Luofu is prospering after the Ambrosial Arbor crisis.
But... I know you're going to say but, right?
But... the influx of people attending the war dance is like a breeding ground for disorder and rumors. One wrong move, and the Luofu could be in a world of chaos.
The Cloud Knights on the streets remain vigilant, so at the very least, General Jingyuan is aware of this. As for other matters, I'm unable to say.
I'd prefer to be excused from future meetings with generals. I'm just a military healer. And now all of a sudden I'm thrust onto the center stage having cordial chats with two generals?
My work doesn't lend itself to being in the limelight either.
Just stop whining. At least you're in one piece, right? Before getting in touch with General Jingyuan, I wanted to put aside my assumptions and see his momentum. That includes the overall bearing of the Cloud Knights on the street, what people are saying, and how those close to him behave.
The might of an army dwells not within its pawns, but within the force of its collective momentum. Recognizing this fact reveals the true measure of power. Thanks for enlightening me, General.
A perfectly clear statement turned confusing thanks to your translation. You've made me lose where I was now. Anyway, this is how I operate in battle, so you might as well get used to it.
Are you treating General Jingyuan as your enemy?
The longest-serving general of the Xianzhou Luofu. Do you think he'd have only a few enemies?
By the way, General, you met the healer lady, yes? Could you show me the medicine she prescribed you?
Well, the healer lady couldn't do anything about my condition. She just told me to enjoy some tasty food.
She's like, just enjoy life while you got it. Have some nice food, get some nice drinks, have fun.
So not even the famed healer lady could help? Don't worry. I'll fulfill my promise and find a way to cure you. Actually, I've found some leads.
Well, life and death, Zhao Cho. It's all predetermined. Upon starting my military career, I made a pledge that the rest of my life would be dedicated to being the Xianzhou spearhead, hunting down the abominations of abundance till the end of my days. As long as I can fulfill that deep-seated desire, I don't care how long I live. You asked if I view General Jing Yuan as my enemy. No. My real enemy has always been myself.
Enjoy some tasty food. So, what's for dinner tonight?
Well, the doctor said get some good food, so what are we having?
Jeez. You really know how to read the room, don't you?
You guys figure it out for yourselves. I'm due to catch up with an old war friend I've not seen for quite a long time.
Hey! Was that the Yaoqing general who just dropped in out of nowhere? Oh, she's so awesome!
I see we found Dan Heng on the way back. That's good. That's good.
I mean, when Yun Li swung that massive sword, she just casually blocked her attack with ease.
Mine too.
Yeah. But to go up against Yun Li is quite impressive, you know? That aura of heroism and grace, it almost makes me want to learn Xianzhou swordplay. You think so too, right?
Oh yeah, it's so good. So super cool.
I agree. General Fei Xiao is indeed impressive.
I was actually hoping you'd give Yanqing some praise.
Yanqing doesn't want praise that you dragged out of other people. Okay, he can deal. He's okay.
Thanks for the kind words, Miss March. The war dance is coming up, and I've been chosen to represent the Cloud Knights in the ceremony. I've had my fair share of defeats lately, and even though I know there are always more skilled swordmasters out there, seeing General Fei Xiao's skills today has made me feel a bit uneasy again.
Okay, but she's hundreds of years old, okay? Oh, well, Foxian, so maybe like 200, but still. She's got a lot of life experience that you don't have yet, so just remember that.
Don't underestimate yourself. After all, generals won't fight in the ring during the war dance. Just remember the state of mind you had when you single-handedly took on me and Blade, putting life and death aside. With that mindset, you can prevail against most challengers.
I see. Thanks for the advice, Master Dan Heng. By the way, now that today's events are over, General Jing Yuan wants to invite all of you to the Seat of Divine Foresight. He has something important to discuss.
I bet it's about how to deal with the generals from the Yaoqing and the Zhu Ming.
Technically, that's none of our business.
I really don't want to get caught up in grown-up games so soon. I just hope Generals Fei Xiao and Huaiyan can see the truth. We don't need any more chaos on the Luofu before the war dance.
Earlier at the Palace of Astral, I introduced these guests from the Astral Express to you, Elder Huaiyan. But with all the people around, we only exchanged pleasantries. Now, I'd like to officially introduce them to you. These three braved great dangers, accompanying me to perilous places, defeating the chief culprit Vantilia, and uncovering the conspiracies of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. If you wish to know more, please, feel free to ask us.
Well, I skimmed through the reports about the Arbor's rebirth from the Master Diviner Fu Xuan. She's been summoned to the Yuque for questioning. There are a lot of doubts within the Alliance about this whole situation. But despite all that, I believe in you.
Aw, thank you.
Since you joined the ranks, you have repeatedly achieved remarkable feats. After the High Cloud Quintet each went their separate ways, despite the many criticisms within the Alliance, the Marshal still stood firm against the dissenting voices and entrusted the Luofu to you. Over the years, you've served the Alliance with loyalty and wisdom. You've taken down abominations in Thalassa, rescued the Xianzhou Yuque from a siege, and destroyed the demonic planet summoned by the denizens of abundance. I still remember those battles vividly.
They summoned a whole planet? What?
There are fools who doubt your loyalty. They're happy to see the divine foresight fail because it gives them some kind of sick satisfaction. They haven't achieved anything of their own, so they feed off the failures of others. But I've seen enough failures in my time, and I want to believe that your loyalty has never wavered.
So, General Fei Xiao of the Yaoqing is the only one investigating the Ambrosial Arbor crisis on behalf of the Alliance?
No. I am too.
This old man's words always catch me off guard.
The Marshal ordered me to come to the Xianzhou Luofu, but the document only says, attend the war dance and listen to Fei Xiao's questioning.
That's a good point. Is the Marshal okay with us being here?
No need for that. You're all important witnesses. The Marshal is well aware of Jing Yuan's purpose in holding the ceremony, and understands the situation he is facing. She mentioned it because she believes both issues are important.
Thanks for your kindness and sincerity, Elder Huayan. But is it appropriate to tell everyone here about the Marshal's orders?
By introducing the Express's witnesses to me alone, aren't you aiming to discern the intentions behind both my actions and Fei Xiao's? And whether there's any discord between us? Well, since I'm being open and honest with you, I encourage you young folk to do the same.
Oh, he's using honesty as a bargaining chip and a guilt trip. He's like, I'm telling you everything that I'm here for, everything that I am, so, you know, you wanna do the same?
As for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis, all I need to do is listen. General Fei Xiao will be the one asking the questions. To be honest, I'm more concerned about the timely start of the war dance. Oh, by the way, I've prepared a gift for the war dance. Yes, it's this case right here. There will be numerous contests and celebrations during the war dance, and the main event will be the Ringmaster's Challenge. The host will dispatch a skilled warrior to take on challengers from all over the cosmos, showcasing the excellent martial arts of the Xianzhou Luofu. When you mentioned that the Astral Express would be attending the ceremony, I thought the High Elder of the Luofu would be the Ringmaster.
Listen, that's a little much for Dan Heng. He's not interested in getting into all that.
You humor me, Elder Huayan. The healer lady is just a young lady who knows nothing about martial arts. How can I assign her as the ringmaster?
And true, yes, technically Bailu is the High Elder now, but we all know he was talking about Dan Heng.
I'm no match to you when it comes to joking.
What's this box for? Why don't you open it, General Huayan?
This sword case is intended for the War Dance's award. It's empty now, but in a few days, a precious sword will be delivered and stored inside. I don't mean to boast about our skills, but this sword represents the pinnacle of the Zhu-Ming's craftsmanship. It has a legendary history, full of heroic tales from foreign lands, tales that are too detailed to be summarized in just a few words. Since the delegation delivering the sword hasn't arrived yet, I'll just leave the case here for now. I've been wondering who would be worthy of such a sword. And then it hit me. I can award it to the champion of the Ringmaster's Challenge. The ceremony's champion is sure to be a perfect match for the sword. Moreover, I hear that Yanqing is an excellent swordmaster, and that he will be representing the Luofu as the Ringmaster, so it seems like a perfect gift for him.
Thank you for your generosity, Elder Huayan.
If you want to give me a sword, just say the word, Grandpa. No need to beat around the bush.
You've got confidence, my girl, but I don't think you can best Yanqing.
Oh, Grandpa said that you're talking too big.
I know you're all about swords, Miss Yunli. It's just a shame that it's the sword that ultimately chooses its rightful master.
Yeah, and even if someone gets their hands on such a precious sword, it'll probably end up in someone else's.
The outcome of our duel at the Alchemy Commission is still up in the air. Since you're interested, why don't you represent the Xianzhou Zhuming and challenge me in the ring?
That's exactly what I had in mind. Nobody knows who's gonna come out on top. It could be me, could be someone else. It'll probably be me. But whatever happens, it won't be him.
Damn, Yunli said it could be anyone in the competition except you. Literally anyone but you. Death or disaster, yeah.
Not to be rude or anything, we've been watching their drama. I'm dying to find out who beats who.
This is March's favorite new drama. She's having a great time.
Quiet down. We have other guests here. I've prepared this sword to add some excitement to the ceremony, not to have you two squabble. It's not a good look for the Alliance. While you both seem confident that you'll win, you need to remember there can only be one winner and one loser in the ring, which could lead to hard feelings. Actually, I have an idea.
Oh, listen, Huayan, the hard feelings are already there, okay? It's too late for that.
We don't know who the winner will be, and it might not be either of you. But if you're eyeing that prize, you'll need to work together. I want you to take on an apprentice who will take part in the war dance and win at least one match.
How does that make sense?
In my humble opinion, while a Cloud Knight is commendable by securing victories, it's even more so to pass on your skills and spread the way of swordplay. I'd be greatly pleased if this apprentice could represent the Express in the war dance by displaying their Cloud Knight flair and prowess.
Well, Elder Huayan's idea is quite interesting. Imparting swordplay skills requires teamwork, and both the winner and the loser will learn a valuable lesson regardless of the outcome. The question is, whom should the two of them take as an apprentice?
Huh? Who? Wait, me?
Well, it'd be pretty weird if it was Dan Heng, and I've got my baseball bat, I don't need it.
I noticed just now that Miss March seemed quite interested in the outcome of your sword fight. So I thought, why not teach her the art of swordplay?
Wait, are you serious, General? Why am I being dragged into this all of a sudden? I've never practiced swordplay before. I'm a total newbie. You really think I can learn it? Well, you'll probably realize I have no hope and give up on me. And that'd be so embarrassing.
What about me? Listen, Dan Heng, it would just be awkward for everyone involved.
Isn't this a perfect chance for you? I remember you mentioning that you wanted to learn some sword moves.
Yeah, I did say that. But this is all happening so quickly, don't you think?
Miss March is like a piece of jade in the rough, just waiting to be shaped. The war dance is the perfect opportunity to see what heights she can reach.
I appreciate your kind words, General YN. But won't teaching me swordplay be a waste of Yanqing and Yunli's time? They should be preparing for the ceremony. Plus, I heard that each swordmaster has their own special moves. What if they let something slip while teaching me? If everyone knows each other's tactics, won't that make it hard to catch people off guard during the war dance?
That's considerate of you, March 7th. But don't worry. It'll take you at least a decade of hard training before you can even start learning special moves. No need to freak out. A few Zhuming swordplay tricks will mean you'll be more than equipped.
She's like, oh, you're way too early to be worrying about stealing our moves, okay?
Really?
Looks like March's curiosity has been piqued.
The whole point is to know each other's moves. Defeating your opponent in just one move? How boring would that be? Plus, what really decides a swordsman's fate isn't some special move. It's the solid fundamentals.
I mean, man's got a point. You're only a truly great swordsman if you can fight someone who knows every single one of your moves. They know your fighting techniques to the letter, and you can still just beat them.
So Miss Yunli has already agreed. What do you say, Yanqing?
General, I haven't graduated yet. How can I be qualified to teach swordplay to others?
So you're admitting your defeat, huh? If you're not even confident to teach, why don't you let me be the ringmaster instead?
Yanqing, teaching an apprentice is also a way of honing your own skills and gaining insights. You've been an apprentice for years. It's about time you looked at swordplay from another perspective.
I see, General. Then count me in.
Now that Yanqing has agreed too, it all comes down to Miss March giving her nod.
It's up to you to make the final decision, March.
Yeah, time to be the best swordsmaster on the Express. I don't have a sword, so, you know.
At least that way, I won't have to worry about you accidentally shooting me in the butt all the time.
If you're not using your bow anymore, then you have to be on the front line with me, which means you'll be next to me instead of behind me.
Hey, I've never missed my target. Then I'm on board. Thank you for your kindness, General YN.
Great! Starting tomorrow, Yanqing and Yunli will teach you the basics of the Cloud Knight's swordplay. Yunli and I will head out and purchase some sword practice equipment for Miss March. Think of it as a little initiation gift.
You're too kind. Wait, you're giving me a gift? Shouldn't it be the other way around? General YN's gone. Wait, why does something feel off about what we talked about? I I think we strayed off topic. How did things even get to this point?
Yeah, I brought you here because the General said he had some important matters to discuss. But how in the world did Yun Li and I suddenly become Miss March's swordplay mentors?
Because General Huaiyan wants us to stick around on the Luofu for some time. But from his point of view, we're no different from all the other tourists who may leave at any time. Since the crew's actions were mentioned in the Luofu's operations log were given to the Alliance, he probably wants to see firsthand if we're as capable as the report claims, or if we're just some made-up excuse to save face. And he wants to see it for himself during the war dance, which is why he even dragged Yun Li into this. What began as a simple contest between two sword masters has now evolved into you two collaborating to mentor March.
Elder Huaiyan is still that tricky general who likes to give everyone a headache. My apologies. Truth be told, I invited all of you to the ceremony because I wished for you to act as my witnesses. I apologize for not disclosing this information earlier. In the coming weeks, I'll also invite all of you to a meeting with General Fei Xiao, where you may need to answer her questions and clear up any doubts she might have. So please, be prepared for the meeting.
Maybe we should just do a runner. Oh boy.
Don't worry, General. No matter what happens, I'm prepared to stay here as the Express's witness and answer any questions.
Thank you, everyone.
General, I know there isn't much I can do to share your burden, but... As the Luofu Ringmaster, I won't let anyone defeat me in the war dance.
I know.
The illustrious Merlin's Claw waiting for me? And for so long, too? It's quite an honor. It's been a while, General Fei Xiao.
It's been a while, Madame Yukong.
It's been 30 years since we last saw each other. Right, Yukong?
Yes. Back then, you were the vanguard of the Yao Qing's Verdant Knights, and I was a pilot of the Luofu's Rainbow Orbit Fleet. Who would have thought that upon meeting again, you'd be a general, and I'd have given up flying? Really does feel like a lifetime ago. Well, I wouldn't say I haven't seen you in 30 years. After all, your great victories are announced through the Yellow Bell resonance system every day. So I'm well aware of your great feats. How's your health holding up?
Still stable, I suppose. Do you still remember the medic who saved me in battle?
That healer with the odd name and peculiar temperament. What was his name again? Was it Pichu? Or Kaqiu?
Jiao Chou. He's been my retainer and personal healer, delegated by the Alchemy Commission from the Xianzhou Yao Qing. Over the years, he's dedicated himself to managing my condition. It's thanks to him that I'm still in good health today. Given my background, I'm happy to have made it this far.
I'm relieved to know that you're safe and sound. Well then, since you and Elder Huaiyan are here, I imagine you must have received orders from the Marshal? As your friend, may I ask how the Alliance intends to punish the General of the Luofu?
The Arbor's rebirth has frightened the elders who lurk behind the scenes. They fear the resurgence of abominations, much like what happened 30 years ago. Although, the report from the Luofu explained all the details, we don't know if the Ruin Legion really invaded, or how exactly the Stellaron Hunters and the Astral Express became involved. This puzzle has many missing pieces.
Listen, if you want to know how the Stellaron Hunters got involved, you're gonna have to go ask them. That's an Elio problem, and we're not qualified to explain Elio problems.
As you know, the fugitive Jing Liu, who mysteriously disappeared many years ago, has resurfaced. This time, she has brought along an Outworlder and a coffin, claiming to offer the Marshal a method to fight against the Eons. The Luofu Preceptor has also leveled accusations against Jing Yuan for neglecting the Alliance's principles. She asserts that Jing Yuan enabled the exiled Imbibitor Lunae to re-enter the Luofu, thereby unlocking the lunarescent depths within Scale Gorge Waterscape, which in turn disrupted the Vidyadhara's dutiful watch over the Ambrosial Arbor.
They just love kicking up a fuss, those Vidyadhara. Goddamn. And listen, the Ambrosial Arbor got messed up before they got to Scale Gorge Waterscape, okay?
It is for these reasons that I have come here to the Luofu today. Well, duty calls. Perhaps I shouldn't have mentioned all of this to an uninvolved person, but since we once fought together, I didn't want to keep you in the dark. Perhaps pretending you didn't hear any of this would be for the best.
I understand. I'm sorry. I was out of line. I know I shouldn't be defending General Jing Yuan right now, but... well, you know how I am. The Luofu has enjoyed centuries of stability since the end of the sedition of Imbibitor Lunae, much of which can be attributed to General Jing Yuan's masterful strategizing. Unfortunately, for long-life species, enduring through the ages always culminates in a failure that undoes all previous achievements. A moment that our adversaries relish.
That's true. And that's why I'm also here for another purpose. To visit Hoolay.
Hoolay? You mean that Hoolay? The Borisin warhead? The same Hoolay who has been imprisoned in the Shackling prison for over 7 centuries?
Yeah, someone who's been locked up for 700 years is really gonna be down for a friendly chat.
The nemesis of the Foxians who will never be forgiven and shall be imprisoned until the end of the cosmos. I can't quite remember the exact wording, but yes, the very same Hoolay.
Usually, only emissaries from the Xianzhou Yaoqing Skyfaring Commission visit him once every century. Why do you have to visit him now, of all times?
The Foxians and the Alliance made a pact to combat the abominations, aiming to achieve justice and free their kin. That werewolf monster is to be forever imprisoned in the dark recesses of the Shackling prison, facing unending retribution. Given the situation on the Luofu, those on the Yaoqing are concerned about Hoolay's imprisonment. I'm afraid that the routine visit every century is no longer sufficient to ease their concerns. That's why I was sent here, to reassure them.
It's all bad news.
Well, not everything. There might be a silver lining. Oh, by the way, I found some clues about the thing you asked for.
About Ting Yun?
Tell me more.
The Verdant Knights followed the route you mentioned and discovered the wreckage of the Whistling Flame ship. Unfortunately, there were no survivors and no cargo. However, someone had already been on the scene before we arrived.
Our people? Or someone from the IPC?
No, neither. Yukong, have you heard of a person named Ron Mei?
What are you up to, Ron Mei? What are we doing this time? What's happening?